Both of them are black. Both of them are massive. Both of them would stop every single person on any road in the world dead in their tracks. And yet, the moment you put these two concepts side by side, you realize they are not even remotely the same vehicle. One of them wants to be seen. The other one? The other one doesn't care if you see it coming. It's arriving regardless. Today, we're breaking down two AI-generated fictional concept designs, and I want to be clear about that up front. These vehicles don't exist. No factory, no production line, no showroom, no order form. They are pure imagination, rendered in extraordinary detail. And that's exactly why this comparison is worth having, because what these two concepts represent are two completely opposite philosophies about what luxury mobile living should feel like. I'm calling them the sovereign and the warlord. And by the end of this video, we're picking a winner. But stay with me, because the category where these two concepts are furthest apart isn't the one you'd expect. I'm saving that for the verdict, and once I lay it out, I think it's going to genuinely surprise you. Let's start with the sovereign, because before we talk about anything else, the finish. Full gloss obsidian black. Every single panel on this vehicle is a mirror, not satin, not matte, mirror. The kind of finish that reflects the room it's standing in so cleanly that you can see the ceiling lights in the body panels. In person, if this concept ever existed in person, you would see yourself walking toward it before you got close enough to touch it. That finish is a statement. It says, "Everything around me is my backdrop." Now the front face. The grille on the Sovereign is a deep diamond-quilted mesh pattern, and framing it is a bold chrome surround that tapers up into an inverted V-shaped emblem at the center. The DRL signature is sharp and angular, sitting low and wide. Chrome accents on the lower bumper. The overall impression of this front face is formal, authoritative. This is not a vehicle that introduces itself loudly. It simply appears, and that's enough. The roofline is where the Sovereign really separates itself from anything else in this comparison. That sweep from the front cab all the way to the rear is long, continuous, and curved with a yacht-like smoothness. No hard angles, no interruptions. Just one elegant arc that carries your eye the full length of the vehicle. And sitting under that roofline is the detail that defines this entire concept, a double-deck glass layout that runs almost the entire length of the body. Upper deck, a continuous panoramic glass band, one unbroken visual line of glass, slightly tinted, framing the habitable upper level. Lower deck, individual framed windows, and here's the detail that genuinely caught my attention. Warm interior lighting is glowing through those lower windows right now in the render. You can see seating inside. You can see the ceiling. You can see that someone designed those interior spaces with the same care as the exterior. That warm amber glow against the cold obsidian black exterior, that contrast is doing more visual work than any graphic designer could achieve. It says, cold on the outside, warm on the inside. Come in. The light strip. One single blue-white LED line running the complete horizontal length of the vehicle. Unbroken, razor-sharp, precise. In the dark, this vehicle would look like a horizon line made of light. That's not an accident. That's a designer who understood that at night, the light strip becomes the vehicle's signature, its fingerprint, the thing you recognize from a mile away. The wheels. Triple rear axle, large diameter chrome multi-spoke design. They're polished, not painted. In a sea of blacked-out wheels on modern concepts, chrome here reads as deliberate contrast. It's another signal. The Sovereign doesn't follow current trends. It sets its own. Now, what's happening inside based on what we can read from the exterior? The double-deck layout tells us the interior is divided into two functional levels. Upper level, almost certainly the primary social and living space, benefiting from that panoramic glass band, natural light, views, ceiling height that would feel genuinely residential. Lower level, based on the individual framed windows and the warm glow, likely a combination of sleeping quarters, service spaces, kitchen, and dining. The warm lighting suggests considered layered interior design, not functional, atmospheric. For camping and off-grid use, imagine the Sovereign parked at a mountain lake at dusk. The exterior goes dark except for that single horizon light strip glowing against the water. Inside, the upper level is lit amber and warm, the panoramic glass showing the last light fading over the peaks. That is a 5-star hotel experience in a forest without the hotel. The Sovereign is a vehicle for someone who wants to arrive somewhere extraordinary and feel the moment they step inside, they never left civilization. Elegance, formality, arrival. That's the Sovereign. But now, the Warlord. And I'll tell you right now, the Warlord doesn't care about elegance. Everything about the Warlord is a hard edge. Where the Sovereign was curves and mirrors and one long, elegant sweep, the Warlord is facets, cuts, angles. This vehicle looks like it was carved out of a single block of matte black obsidian by someone who had a very specific idea about what roads are for. And that idea is domination. The finish alone tells the whole story before we even look at the details. Matte black. Not gloss, matte. The kind of finish that absorbs light rather than reflecting it. Where the Sovereign says, "Look at me," the Warlord says, "I don't need you to look." It's a fundamentally different relationship with attention, and it changes everything about how you read this vehicle. The front face. Sharp, angular, aggressive without being crude. The DRL signature is a V shape, but harder and more tactical than the Sovereign's. Blue neon accent lighting cuts through the geometric facets of the front bumper. The grille is the same honeycomb pattern, but framed by hard, angular cuts rather than smooth curves. Where the Sovereign's grille felt like an invitation, the Warlord's grille feels like a warning. The headlights sit in deep-set angular housings. They don't shine outward warmly, they cut, like searchlights on a military aircraft. The message this front face communicates is unmistakable. I was designed for roads that don't exist yet. Now, the body. This is where the design philosophy diverges completely from the Sovereign, and where the Warlord makes its most compelling argument. The body panels are angular and faceted across the entire surface. No soft radii, no gentle curves. Every surface plane changes direction at a hard, geometric crease. It's almost stealth aircraft geometry, and that's not a coincidence. The designer was drawing from tactical and military design language, and they applied it to a living space with complete commitment. No half measures. The roof. This is the detail that changes what this vehicle is for. A full-width LED light bar spans the entire top of the roof rack. Not a styling element, a functional element. That light bar is for terrain, for darkness, for places where the road ends and the landscape begins. The Sovereign's light strip runs along the side of the vehicle and says, "Find me on the highway." The Warlord's light bar runs across the roof and says, "I'll light up the wilderness myself, thank you." That single design decision tells you everything about the intended use case. This vehicle is thinking about the Sahara, about the Alaskan interior, about river crossings and mountain passes and campsites that have no name on any map. The Sovereign wants to park outside a 5-star restaurant. The Warlord wants to park somewhere no one has parked before. The wheels reinforce this completely. Larger, more aggressive tire profile, blacked-out multi-spoke wheels with white LED rings. Cold, technical, functional. Not chrome,
not polished. These wheels are dressed for work. And the visible sidestep on the lower body, that detail alone says this vehicle expects to be boarded in rough terrain. You step up into the Warlord, you don't glide into it. Blue neon underglow and accent lighting throughout, but where the Sovereign's lighting was a single, elegant line, the Warlord's lighting is tactical, multiple accent points, angular signatures. It's a vehicle that still wants to look extraordinary at night, but on its own terms. Industrial extraordinary, not ballroom extraordinary. What's inside the Warlord? Based on the exterior, we're working with a single-level layout, but with a roofline height that suggests generous interior ceiling clearance. The windows are smaller and more protected than the Sovereign's, which tells you something important. This interior isn't designed around views. It's designed around function, around durability, around the ability to exist comfortably in environments where the Sovereign would never go. I'd expect tactical interior design, modular storage, surfaces that clean easily, integrated technology that's built for off-grid operation rather than aesthetic appreciation. The interior of the Warlord is a base camp. The interior of the Sovereign is a penthouse. For the overlanding and serious camping community, the Warlord is the answer to a question they've been asking for years. What if you could go anywhere, completely self-sufficient, in something that didn't compromise a single centimeter on the experience inside? That's what this concept is proposing, and it's a serious proposal. Now, let's put them side by side, because the verdict is where this gets genuinely interesting. Round 1. Design language. The Sovereign wins this round, and it's not close. The gloss finish, the yacht roofline, the double-deck glass, the single unbroken light strip, these are the decisions of a designer who had a complete, cohesive vision and executed it without a single compromise. Every element speaks to every other element. The Sovereign is a designed object in the purest sense. The Warlord is compelling, but it's angularity for angularity's sake in places. Some of those body panel cuts feel like they're trying hard. The Warlord never feels like it's trying. It just is. Sovereign 1, Warlord 0. Round 2. Off-grid and adventure capability. The Warlord wins this round, and it's not even a contest. The roof light bar, the aggressive tire profile, the tactical body geometry, the step-up boarding, every single design decision on the Warlord is pointed at the same question: how far can this thing go? The Sovereign is designed for destinations. The Warlord is designed for the journey itself, including the parts of the journey that have no roads. For anyone who dreams of driving across Patagonia, crossing the Australian outback, or camping in places that require serious self-sufficiency, the Warlord is the only answer here. Sovereign 1, Warlord 1. Round 3. Livability. The Sovereign wins again. That double-deck glass layout, that warm interior glow, the panoramic upper level, the psychological experience of living in a space flooded with natural light, with views in every direction, with a ceiling height that makes you forget you're in a vehicle. The Sovereign wins the livability round because it was designed from the inside out. It was designed around how it feels to exist inside it. The Warlord was designed from the outside in, which produces a more dramatic exterior, but a more compromised daily living experience. Sovereign 2, Warlord 1. Round 4. Road presence. This one is a draw, but for different reasons. The Sovereign turns heads because it's breathtaking. The Warlord turns heads because it's intimidating. Both stop traffic, both command attention, both would be photographed by every person in range. They just produce different emotional responses in the people watching. One makes people say, "That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen on a road." The other makes people say, "What is that thing?" Both are wins, different wins. A draw. Final score: Sovereign 2, Warlord 1, 1 draw.
So, the Sovereign wins on points.
2 rounds to 1, 1 draw. By the scorecard, the sovereign is the better concept, and I stand by that analysis. The design coherence, the interior livability philosophy, the double-deck glass architecture, it's the more complete, more considered, more refined vision. But here's what the scorecard doesn't capture, and this is the part I've been saving. The warlord wins the only category that actually matters for this channel: imagination. The sovereign is a vehicle I can picture existing. I can see a version of it rolling out of a Prevost factory in 10 years. I can see a version of it at a Monaco boat show, parked next to a super yacht. It's extraordinary, but it's a kind of extraordinary that fits inside the boundaries of what we already know luxury looks like. The warlord? I can't picture where that vehicle exists, and that's the point. It doesn't exist in any world we currently live in. It exists in a world where the wilderness hasn't been tamed yet, and someone decided to drive into it in something that looked like it was designed by a defense contractor with an interior design budget. That vehicle is genuinely new, not refined new, not premium new, conceptually new. And for a channel dedicated to fictional AI-generated concept designs, that's the highest compliment I can give. Both of these concepts will never exist exactly as you've seen them today. They're AI-generated, they're fictional, they're imagination rendered in extraordinary detail. And that's not a limitation, that's the whole point. Because imagination is where every real vehicle starts. Someone had to picture it before anyone could build it. And whoever pictured these two, they were thinking at a genuinely interesting level. Now, here's what I want from you in the comments, and I want you to actually pick a side on this one. The sovereign or the warlord? Which one are you taking? And more importantly, where are you going in it? City to city in the sovereign, arriving in style at every stop? Or deep wilderness in the warlord, parked somewhere that doesn't exist on Google Maps? Tell me, I want to know. Drop it below. And if this is the kind of breakdown you come to YouTube for, 2 concepts, a real argument, a real verdict, no filler, then there's a lot more of it on this channel. Subscribing takes 2 seconds and means you won't miss the next one. I'll see you there.